boy who lived come to die.
To live completely, every day full of love and liveliness, there must be a dying of everything of yesterday. Otherwise, we just become robots and mechanical minds, which never know what love or true freedom really is, because we cannot live without dying. Because most of us are frightened of dying because we do not know what it means to live. We do not know how to live, therefore we do not know how to die. As long as we are frightened of life, we will always be frightened of death.
How do you pick up the threads of an old life? How do you go on when in your heart you begin to understand there is no going back?
Do not pity the dead, Harry. Pity the living. And above all those who live without love.
Because life and death are the same. There is no separation. And the being who lives without conflict, who lives with beauty and love, is not frightened of death, because to love is to die. So this dark night of the soul is in a way you psychologically dying inwardly, which is then a mind which is completely free and empty of itself, its daily longings, pleasures, and desires. This death is then a renewal, a mutation, a transformation of your mind, in which thought does not function at all, because thought is old.
This is all the game.
A profound life experience.
So I was blind, now I can see.
Take it easy, it was quite a fall.
And when there is death, there is something completely new. Freedom from the known is death, and then you are living. And this is when you begin to start to love yourself without any comparison. You must totally abandon yourself to love, and that there is no other. So when there is love and beauty, whatever you do is right. And when you know how to love without any conditions, you can do anything that you like. And love can only come into our being when there is total self-abandonment. Because love is something new, it is fresh, and it is alive. It has no yesterday or tomorrow. It is beyond the control of thought. Thought, in a way, is the breeder of all duality. So when you begin to realize this, thought can invent anything and see things that aren't really there.
Is this all real? Or is it just happening inside my head?
Of course it's happening inside your head, Harry. Why should that mean that it's not real?
And this is how we begin to understand the whole structure of who we are and how we think, how we eat, how we experience life, how we talk to people, the way we walk, the way we talk. You become aware of all these things, then the mind will not deceive you, because there is nothing to be deceived. Your awareness then becomes clear and focused and free to fly. This solitude we can find in everyday surroundings. It doesn't matter if you're around people all the time. You can find solitude in yourself everywhere you go, because in that solitude you create a fresh mind and an innocent mind. And this space in silence is necessary, because it is only when the mind is alone, uninfluenced, untrained, and not held by emotions of the past, then it can come upon something completely new. Space and silence are necessary to go beyond the limitations of consciousness. So we must discipline the mind, not by control or training it, without suppression or without any form of fear. Just by watching this video, we are disciplining the mind, because the very act of learning is discipline, because a free mind is a still mind. A living mind is a mind without attachments, and therefore no space or time. Such a mind is limitless, and that is the only truth. That is the only reality. And taking responsibility of your life is the bravest, most spiritual part in us, no matter how painful it may be. This pain is the coming home of the prodigal son, the dark night of the soul. All that suffering is now full upon us, because it is energy returning to the source. It is a new state of consciousness. It is through this suffering that we are purified. Because once the energy passes the body and the emotional body is transformed, the heart beats fast and the breath becomes shortened and the tears begin to fall. The energy is coming back and it causes a storm. And so we have to live in this storm.
I made a decision of the heart. I cannot look into another's eyes and see the same look I see in August's without justification. It is too painful. I cannot bear it.
You have jeopardized everything we've made.
Yes, I have risked. I hope I am always able to risk everything for the just and right cause. If we did not make this decision, we could never again call ourselves innocent. And that, in the end, is what we have protected here. Innocence. That I'm not ready to give up.
We can move towards hope. It's what's beautiful about this place. We must not run from heartache. Heartache is a part of life. We know that now.
The world moves for love. It kneels before it in awe.
And once the love of the self has become real and understanding, then we can embrace all life outside of us. Once we begin to understand this realization, we are the creators of a life that we perceive outside of ourselves. This is the beginning of Christ consciousness. So if you think about this, if God is really us, then the only lack that we have is not being that, is not believing it. Because for what is love unless one becomes that virtue to understand what it is to live as one? Everyone benefits from the experience of one single individual, because the more and more we raise our vibration and our energy up, it amplifies and broadcasts it out to everyone. This is how mass change occurs, from within, by changing ourselves, which is then recorded in the universal records for all to learn from.
I'm back, Lucius.
My dear Sam, you cannot always be torn in two. You will have to be one and whole for many years. You have so much to enjoy and to be and to do. Your part in the story will go on.
Well, I'm back.